Live from Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, and it's an absolute honor to welcome Katie Cleary to the show. She's an international model and a very passionate animal advocate.
Aww.
Congratulations on all the success you guys have been having.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
We hear you have a big day today or tomorrow?
Today and tomorrow, yes. So I head to the Capitol, and we're fighting for the Cruelty-Free Cosmetics Act. So it's basically to get companies like Estee Lauder, L'Oreal to stop testing on about 500,000 animals per year that get killed just for mascara, for powder, for eyeliner. And a lot of them, sadly, are blinded as a result of that because of the dry eye test. That's the most common test. And you know, China actually requires you, or yet they say, you know, that they require you to test on animals if you want to sell to China. So this is what we're up against. We're up against these big billion-dollar companies fighting against the animal welfare community because, you know, we're trying to just save lives. I mean, that's basically why we're fighting for this, and they're trying to make a profit. So and they don't want to lose money, and they don't want to lose jobs. So. Yeah, head to the Capitol in a couple hours, and a lot of great people are fighting with us. So we're really excited. The vote is tomorrow, so fingers crossed, because we've been fighting a whole year on this.
That just it's just disturbing.
Yeah.
It just seems so bizarre that they have to still test on animals.
I know.
It just seems so barbaric.
I know. Well, when actually John Paul DeJorio actually found out about this, he called the Capitol and he said, you know, we've never tested on animals, and yet we sell to China. So actually they negotiated with China. So China, that's the big debate, is losing jobs and not being able to sell to China. But we know that you can negotiate and you can sell to China based on a skin test that's actually made here in California. And they accept it. So there's no real need to test on animals anymore.
John Paul's so amazing.
He's amazing.
What a great, I mean, oh my God.
Well,
amazing.
Yeah.
But so are you. You truly have such a huge heart and a deep passion. Where did this all stem for you?
You know, I was about 11, 12, and I always knew I was going to be working with animals. I just didn't know to what capacity. So I was either going to be a veterinarian or a zoologist, or get involved in entertainment around the same time and use
Very
that
similar.
as right, and use my platform in entertainment to start my own organization, and then started World Animal News about 6 years ago, and then that took off, and so we needed something to mainstream animal welfare, because the animal welfare community knows what's happening, but the world doesn't, because it's not in the mainstream on BBC, CNN, you know, MSNBC. People don't know what's happening, so that's why I created it.
What have you learned about mainstreaming animal welfare, as far as, like, you know, tips, tricks that you've learned?
You know what, I would say, you know, dominating social media and make it look appealing to the eye, to where it's, you know, I don't want people to turn away. So when we're making a meme, when we're creating these, you know, headlines for news, like today I have my girls working while I'm here, and hopefully they're watching. But, you know, it's something that you want people to be engaged, so then they can share it and they can raise awareness on their own. You want them to be able to share it. And so that's the hardest part, is that it's a fine balance between showing, you know, what's real, and then also showing, you know, a cute animal video or an amazing rescue story.
Right.
So,
I mean, there is so much sadness, but it's incredible to be able to celebrate all the good that's coming from what you're doing. But let's talk about animal welfare documentary, The Give Me Shelter, on Netflix. You were the executive producer on that.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
So it was around the same time, 2012. It was Founded Peace for Animals, the nonprofit World Animal News, and then this name popped into my head. It was like an epiphany. I woke up one morning and I said, I'm not doing enough in animal welfare. We need to take it to the next level. So Give Me Shelter, the name popped on, and I'm like, the Stones, I love the Stones.
Yeah.
That's Give Me Shelter, this is Give Me. But it was something that I thought, you know, we need to highlight all the most important issues that are plaguing our planet. So the ivory trade, the rhino horn trade, the fur trade, seal clubbing, the horse slaughter. You know, it's pretty, they're hard-hitting issues, but we highlighted them all in Give Me Shelter. And it took about 3 years to make. All my own money. Actually did a cosmetics commercial.
Wait, you self-funded this?
Yeah, I did a Proactive commercial a long time ago, and it kept airing, and I used the funds from Proactive to pay for it.
So,
this was a long time ago. So,
Yeah.
So Katie, I have a question for you, because today we're talking about manifesting vitality, and clearly it takes a lot of energy to do what you do, and I would imagine your mission drives that energy. But what do you do? Like, how much do you feel like it's inside versus what you eat, how you sleep? What does that look like for you?
It's hard, I have to be honest, because when you see so much pain and suffering, how could it not affect you? So literally, when we're reporting on the news every day, we're fighting these big companies. We're also, another bill we're working on is the African Species Protection Act. So it prevents not the importation, because we can't fight a federal bill, because Obama's bill that now Trump is reversing in order to import trophies, elephants, rhinos, some of the most endangered species into the states. We can fight it on a state level. So we fight the possession. So these people can't possess 11 iconic African species. So we have that bill, and we're being fought by the NRA, Safari Club International, all the hunters, and so that's another big fight. And it affects you on such a cellular level that a lot of people burn out. And to be honest, my therapy, I think, is going to the ocean and really just taking some time and meditating and being able to breathe, and of course taking, trips, away from the hustle and bustle of what we're doing, because it's really taxing, because you're fighting, I hate to say this, you're fighting evil. It's good versus evil. It's people that are making money and profiting off of these animals and think it's fun to hunt and shoot, and it's not a game. We're talking some of the most endangered species on the planet that are going to go extinct if we don't step up in the next 5 years. So, it's a battle, but we're willing to fight it.
So what can we do to help support that?
I would say spread the word. Make sure you look on the back of products, especially in entertainment and the cosmetics industry. Make sure you look for something that says not tested on animals, or the leaping bunny, or something that really is humane. And they'll state, if the company is humane, they'll put it on the back of the products. If it's not, you won't see it. So make sure you look for that. Make sure you educate people. I think eating clean, eating a plant-based diet. Speaking of cancer, this is something that I think is a big cancer preventive action is to eat a clean plant-based diet. And I've been vegan for about 3 years now. And I do it for the animals, but also it's a very healthy way to live. So,
interesting.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things you can do. Rescue an animal. Don't buy, adopt, don't shop.
And you've got 12.
I've got 12. Yes, I've got 12, and I continually find them. Whether it's like I found a kitten on the 10 freeway, or on Laurel Canyon I found another kitten, so I introduced them, and then I found 4 in a box, so I took them and bottle fed them, and it's endless. That's why I have so many.
What is your vision?
My vision is to being able to make this a worldwide movement, and we share the planet with about 8.7 million species, and we're one of those species. So and the rest of them don't have a voice.
Right. So interesting. That evil, from a perspective of Dr. Divinity, is really out of bounds, is the definition of what evil, right? So like the sun could even be out of, but I completely agree that we have to honor each person's truth, but yet not go out of bounds, like hurting and harming other things. So It's so important to know this, that I love your harmony and what you're bringing, and the education and awareness around all of it. And we all play into it. We have, leather shoes, right? So where does that go, and how do we become more conscious and make better decisions? So thank you so much for all of your work. So
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Tell people where they can follow and donate.
Please follow World Animal News. It's just at World Animal News on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and also Peace, 4 Animals, and you can donate at peace4animals.net to everything we're working on. And I do want to shout out to Social Compassion and Legislation. That's our partner for the iconic African Species Protection Act and the Cruelty-Free Cosmetics Act, and they are heading this, and they've gotten Paul Mitchell, Lush Cosmetics on board, and it's going to be a fight at the Capitol tomorrow, but I think we're going to win.
Love it. Well, there's only one energy, and you can use it for harmony or chaos. So please use your energy for good. Bring harmony and do good. Thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you.
Guys. We'll be right back.
Thank you.